Is it okay? Shall I continue?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is what the topic actually for the day. Actually, this is an introduction. You would like to introduce few of the characteristics of Siribhūvalaya. So let me start with some key historic transitions, or you can say important events which has taken place. I'm not going through much of the details, but the procreation period where it was scripted, it is 9th century, about 1200 years ago, and it was in ancient Karnataka near Bangalore. The focal characters in this history are Acharya Kumdendu, the outstanding, inimitable genius who scripted this inimitable creation. And Mahamata Mallikabe, she deserves a good credit because she made copies of this epic and distributed. And one of these copies has survived till 20th century. And there was a long intermission. The wonderful masterpiece laid into oblivion for 1,000 years due to complexity in deciphering it. Because this was scripted in numbers, day by day it becomes very few people were able to decipher it, and somehow it was lost, actually almost lost for 1,000 years. And now it is resurrection in the early 20th century by Pandit Yellappa Shastri, the oldest redeemer who strived resurrection efforts till his death. So this is a brief highlights of the historical thing. Now I come to this. If we just look at the one chakra is one page from the Siribhūvalaya. And if you just have a look at it, this is one of the original manuscript which has survived 1,000 years. So if you just look at I would like to highlight to make you note that if you just look at this, it is containing numbers. These numbers are in Kannada script. And in one line, if you just look at the one line contains 27 of these numbers, and each page or each chakra contains such 27 lines. That means it has got a 27 by 27 is equal to 729 numbers, and they are arranged in the form of matrix. You just see the construction of this page. You can find a small matrix at the left hand side, 3 by 3 matrix, that contains some kind of a decryption hints, how to decrypt this whole thing, how to decipher. And this matrix composition, if you just know that in the modern mathematics, on the science or engineering, matrices are very, very common feature. But about 1,200 years ago, it is the first time that matrix being in use by Acharya Kumdendu. So a good credit should go to Acharya Kumdendu for having organized his numbers in the form of matrix. And he also did partitioning of this matrix. He made combination of these sub-matrices and many other combinations and transposition of these sub-matrices to make this a very cryptographically very high standard of encryption. So I'll go to the next slide. This is the whole, the Pandit Yellappa Shastri did a transliteration of the original manuscripts with his hands, and he has submitted these transcripted sheets into the National Archives of India, from where we have got a set of this original, or you can say copy of this original, the transcription of the transliteration of the original manuscripts. And here there are some marks which we are highlighting it to make understand what kind of deciphering hints are available. So if you just look at, there is Pad Sankhya, Upakram means Upchakra, sub matrices, index, and kind of other hints which Acharya Kumdendu has already provided in his original manuscript. Now here it is a computerized version. You can see the same first chakra or the first page of this is in an Excel sheet actually. Now people will wonder why Acharya Kumdendu has chosen numbers, numeral script. So one of the features which is very important, and there is another important characteristic of this numeral script, which we'll see later on, the Ankalipi, the numeral script, this allowed implementation of transposition and substitution ciphers. You'll be, it is really wonderful to note that he has deployed the techniques of cryptography, which is known as block cipher in modern cryptographic terminology. And he has used a combination of transposition and substitution ciphers to hide this information. And for that, he needed numbers to be operated upon. So he has chosen a numeral script, Ankalipi, which we call Ankalipi. So if you just see, look at this is one of the first chakra or the first page of Siribhūvalaya which we have got. And if you just look at it, it becomes very difficult to make sense of it, unless one goes deep into the methodology which Acharya Kumdendu has implemented. Acharya Kumdendu has now divided the matrix, this 27 by 27 matrix, into sub-matrix, which we call Upachakra. One chakra is 27 by 27 matrix, and Upachakras are 9 by 9 matrices. So if you just divide 27 by 27 matrix into 9 sub-matrices, so this is how this will look. And he has allotted a, you can say, the top left is called sub-matrix first. The another next to it is sub-matrix 2. Likewise, the bottom right 9 by 9 matrix is called sub-matrix 9. And these numbers have been used as a hint by Acharya Kumdendu in his chakras, because for each of the adhyaya, he uses the sub-matrix combination in different permutations. So he has used a different permutation for each adhyaya. If you can decode or decipher chakras of one adhyaya, the same thing will not hold for the next adhyaya. Then you will again note that what kind of arrangement or permutation is available for that, and that hint is already given by Acharya Kumdendu on the first chakra of adhyaya. Now I will go back to the fundamental thing of substitution. What goes with numbers and associated numbers? We call them Mool Varna or the phonemes actually. So if you just look at the first 64 characters, each is been assigned a number. Now here it is based on our old conventions in our old scriptures that there are 64 Mool Varnas, and they are categorized as 27 as swaras. Basic, there are 9 swaras, vowels. A, E, U, Ri, Ri, A, I, O, Au. There are 9 swaras, 9 vowels. Now, these 9 swaras are now are further divided into 3 categories. That is Hasva, Dirgha, and Plut. When the time to pronounce, the Ucharan Kal, is unit, that is A. If you can double it, Ucharan Kal is doubled, then it becomes A, Dirgha. And if you make it more than double and furthermore, it becomes Plut. So first A, A, A. Likewise, E, E, E. So there are all these 9 swaras, vowels. Now I've got three different features, hasva, dirgha, and plut. And then come the vyanjans, consonants. So there are 5 vargiya consonants, kavarg, chavarg, tavarg, tavarg, pavarg. 5 into 5, 25 vyanjans of this vargiya. And now 8 avargiya. 8 avargiya include this yara, lava, sa, sha, sa, ha. So it becomes 20, 56. And now if you add some more yogva, actually, this classification already exists in our previous scriptures. One is anuswar, the bindi on the top of a character. The visarg, the sound of ha. And then upadmani and jivamuli. So these are 4. So likewise, there are 64 mool varnas. And these of each of them is assigned one number that you can see on the screen. Now in this, if you just have got in Devanagari, first 64, next 64 are for Kannada script, and then the bottom 64, they are for Brahmi. Likewise, we can create tables, different table, substitution cipher tables for different scripts. So there again comes a very important consideration which Acharya Kumdendu has taken care. By using numbers, we can decipher the contents in any of the scripts. I'll show it with some example, because if there is a 1, that means it has to be written in Devanagari like this, or in Kannada like this, or in Brahmi like that, or in any other script. You can create a similar sounding character, a phoneme. Now, how it is being Ankalipi, or this, how numbers have been created. Now here there are an example that is called, we can call it as an encoding. You just look at the word Bhuvalaya. Now you will have to split it into mool varnas. Mool varnas means you have to write, first comes Bha, that is a Vyanjan, then U, that is a Swara, vowel, then Va, Vyanjan, again a Swar, A, La, A, Ya, A. So likewise, first we have to bring it, separate it out, Vyanjans and Swaras. And then for each of them, there is a particular number. You know that 51 is for Ba, U is got 8, 56, 1 is for A. Likewise, you can write the series of numbers which correspond to Bhuvalaya. Same way you can write Jnanapita. Ja, Yo, A, N, A, Pa, I, Ta, A. And it becomes a. Similarly, there's another example how to break down a word into mool varnas, the basic phonetic alphabets. And then they are being substituted with corresponding numbers. So you get a number of string of numbers. Now, this is an example of alphabetic writing system. This kind of writing, these consonants and vowels, it is not prevalent in our Indian systems or Indian scripts, this is very prominent in our this Western system, Roman and Latin this. So we write this is Ram, we have to write Ram, R-A-M. R is a consonant, then a vowel, then a consonant. So they are separated out. Here we do the same thing here. Acharya Kumdendu is doing the same way here, separating out consonants and vowels and writing them in a sequence. This type of system is in contrast with Abhiguda, which we are more familiar with Indian scripts, in which a single symbol denotes the combination of one consonant and one vowel. So this kind of encoding system, we can correlate with most of the European scripts, which are descendants of Greek and Latin writing system. And the reverse process of encoding, the reverse process is decoding. So suppose we've got a series of numbers, 59, 4, this thing, 4, 4, 4. Then we can substitute again with the table that 59 stands for Sa, 4 stands for E, R stands for Ra, 4 stands for E. Then likewise, we can substitute the Mool Varnas and then we have to connect them together. This is our Indian script system where the vowels comes along with the consonant. Means consonant gets modified with a diacritic mark, like we call it matra. So here it becomes a Siribhūvalaya. That vowel here, they become part of matra. So likewise, there is another example. If you got a string of string of numbers like this, then they will that they will get substituted into Ashta Maha Praata Era. That means if you just connect them together, conjoin them, then it becomes Ashta Maha Pratiharya. This kind of script is called abiguda by our modern terminology. Is a writing system in which consonants and vowel sequences are written as units. Each unit is based on consonant and vowel notation is secondary, like a diacritical mark. That is example of scripts used in Indian subcontinent. That is the example which we use Gujarati, Hindi, Marathi, Bengali. So this, again, this is very important characteristic to be noted here, that this Anka Lipi allows transliteration in any of the script of the choice without any need to know any other script. I'll tell you one example. Suppose you've got a piece of literature in Marathi and somebody wants to try to transliterate the same thing into Bengali. Then that person has to know Marathi and he has to know the Bengali script also and Marathi script together. He cannot do it all alone. So we have to search a person who is conversant with both scripts. But here in this, if you've got a table of Mool Varna for Bengali, or if you just represent every script in terms of numbers, then transliteration to another script is very easy. And this is the features which we have been using all the way, because we are not very conversant with Kannada script. The whole poetry of Siribhūvalaya is written in Kannada. The original literature is Kannada poetry. But we can, because of number script, we know that one is for A, how to write this in Devanagari. So we can write the whole thing in Devanagari script. And we can do it in different scripts also. So this is an example how we can do the first shloka of Siribhūvalaya. If we just transliterate from Anka Lipi, that if you decode it, and the Anka Lipi comes like this. The same thing can be written in Brahmi like this, and in the bottom that Kannada script also, and in the Roman script also. We have got a table for Roman script also. So without bothering anything else, a transliteration into various scripts is very, very easy. Just at the click of a button, you can say. Because you have got the tables in the Excel. We have been using Excel quite a lot. And with one stroke, we can transliterate into any of the script, one script to another script. So this gives another consideration, actually, why Anka Lipi was being used by Acharya Kumdendu. Because he wanted to do cryptography, he wanted to make it a universal script. Now, if we just Mool Varna in the previous slide, which we just see, if we join those Mool Varnas together, then join them to make words, the padas and shlokas, and this is how it results. This is the first shloka of Siribhūvalaya. It's in Kannada. Ashtamaha Pratiharya Vaibhavadinda Ashtagunangalovlomnam Shrishtige Mangalaparyaya Dinita Astam Jingir Guvenu. This is how, in the Mangalacharan of this Siribhūvalaya, Acharya Kumdendu praise actually to the 8th Tirthankar, Shantinath, sorry, Chandra Prabhu. अष्ट महाप्रातिहार्यों के वैभव से सुशोभित और अंतरंग में अष्ट गुणों की अनंत सिद्धि से संयुक्त अष्टम जिन संपूर्ण विश्व के महत मंगल कारक हैं, ऐसे जिन देव को बारंबार नमन. So this is how the poetry comes out. This is one example of the poetry, Kannada poetry coming out from Siribhūvalaya. The whole this is and it is in Sangatya Shali. Actually, you can say it can be recited well. Actually, recitation of this thing has been done by some think and they are very impressive one. And that recitation of this also is referred in one of the old work by Swayambhu Kavi in his Paumcharyu. He has mentioned that Bhuvalaya was recited in the streets of Kanjipuram. So this is another characteristic of Siribhūvalaya, that it is a poetry which can be recited musically. Now, just as I told you, if you just decode the Ankalipi, you come across with poetry in Kannada. That is, we call it the Mool Sahitya. Mool Sahitya is in Kannada. Now, if you pick up from Kannada Mool Sahitya, if we take some characters from Kannada Mool Sahitya, we pick up few characters. There are different ways how to do it. One is called Stambha Kavya. That means if you pick up the first character of the Purna Padya, actually, slokas, if you pick up the first and join them together, you get a Gatha in Prakrit. If you pick up some characters in between, we call it Akramvarti. Akramvarti Stambha Kavya results in a Sanskrit sloka. Likewise, there are multiple languages available. If you pick up the Mool Sahitya, and then you can generate Antar Sahitya. This is called Antar Sahitya. Means Mool Sahitya, Mool poetry remains there, but Mool poetry now gives birth to some others, multiple languages. In multiple languages, multiple scriptures. I will give you an example. From the first Adhyaya, if you just pick up the first character of shlokas, how this prakrit, this thing will result in. Atta vihakam viyala, nitya kajja panatta sansara, ditta sayalatta sara, siddhya siddhim mam disantu. This is from the first Adhyaya. If you just pick up the first कैरेक्टर, तो पहला अक्षर अगर आप लेते जाएं श्लोकों का पहले अध्याय के, तो आपको ये प्राकृत की गाथा मिलती है. दिस इटसेल्फ इज ए great wonder actually. And if you just pick up in between, this is called this Akramvarti. From the first Adhyaya, the same first Adhyaya, you can come across a Sanskrit shloka, which is a very, very commonly used shloka in Mangalacharan. Okaram bindu sanyuktam nityam dhyayanti yoginah kamadam mokshadam chaiva omkaraya namo namah. And one more thing which I would like to, this is being used very popularly. This is very popular Mangalacharan Stotra, Mangalacharan Shloka. And this has been first time. It is, you can say, it has found a place in Siribhūvalaya. Prior to any Grantha or any scripture before 9th century, it is not visible. So there is another beauty of Siribhūvalaya is that it has got a Mool Sahitya, It is a great poetry which contains knowledge about, you can say that it is a treasure of knowledge on many different topics. Along with that, it has got Antar Sahitya. And Antar Sahitya is in different languages, many other languages. At the end, I will try to show you some few other languages. This is very common, which Prakrit and Sanskrit, we can find in all adhyayas that it is first characters and middle characters you come across, and then you add them and you come to a new kind of literature. Now, as we know that we have got only access to the first khanda, first canto of Siribhūvalaya. As there are 9 different khandas which are being named as Mangala Prabhrata, Shrutavatar, Sutravatar, Pranavaya Purva, Dhaval, Jay Dhaval, Vijay Dhaval, Mahadhaval, and Atishay Dhaval. The literature mentions that these are the 9 volumes of which this Mangal Prabhat is only available to us in public domain, which is now being archived at National Archive of India, New Delhi. So, and the volume of literature, volume of contents of the whole thing is quite a sizable. And if you could just, if you can imagine how big will this the whole thing if you come across. This Pranavaya Purva, this 4th khanda, it is said to be in possession of somebody. We know that it is in possession of some family in Bangalore, and it contains a very wide description of Pushpa Ayurveda. Pushpa Ayurveda was the one of the Ayurveda methods which has been propagated by Jain saints, because it is the most ahimsak way of creating medicines for many all type of elements. So Acharya Acharya Kumdendu has been very vocal in promoting this Pushpa Ayurveda. He calls it Lalita Ayurveda. And using the only flowers, actually what he says, what is the logic behind is that even if you create a medicine using these herbs or plants, people take roots, the bark, the trunk, and they all also cause hinsa to the vanaspati. So now the most ahimsak way will be to pick up flowers which are likely to be discarded by the plant itself. So collecting those flowers, one can devise all kind of medicines. So this is another science which we should try to explore and find out how Pushpa Ayurveda can make our concept of Ayurveda a little brighter and a little broader. Now I'd like to give some terminologies which has been, if somebody wants to go into deep of Siribhūvalaya, it will be good for them to understand this. The chakra that I told you, this is a chakra, is a page, you can say, one page. It has got an arrangement of 27 numbers in 27 rows. So this is a matrix of 27 by 27. And Upachakra is a sub-matrix out of, if you divide the 27 by 27 into 9 different sub-matrices, and they have been assigned a number 1, 2, 3, 4, starting from the top, and the end last one is 9, number 9. So there are 9 sub-matrices, and the way in Mangal Prabhat they are being decoded is called Bandha. Bandha means the key, which the way, the manner they have been encoded. Bandha is the key, is the manner in which the contents are encoded. So if you know the bandha, then you can reveal it also. This is a key which is used to hide the original script, original text, and the same key can be used to decode it, to decipher it. So bandha actually defines the way how to traverse the chakra. That means in which sequence you have to pick up the numbers. These numbers which are written in Ankalipi on the chakra, they are not in sequence. You cannot start from left to right or top to bottom or some skipping 1, 2, 3. Not like that. You have to pick up one from one row, another from another row, another column, another from another row, another column. Likewise. So, which is the sequence that is given by the bandha? So there are different bandhas. So different, and then there are different combinations of bandha. In Mangal Prabrata, a generic name is given as a Shreni Bandha. Shreni Bandha is a kind of a bandha which is applied to 27 by 27 matrix and 9 by 9 matrix. The 27 by 20 matrix bandha is called Chakra Bandha, and 9 by 9 matrix, it is called a Navmank Bandha. The Shreni Bandha defines the way how to pick the characters from the Ank chakra. So there are two chakras, you can say. Ank chakra means the original encoded text, and the Kram chakra. You can say Kram chakra will tell you where to pick up first, where to pick up second, where to pick up from. And this is another thing which I would like to bring to your notice, that in the Mangal Prabhat, these two bandhas have been used. And in another Khanda, there are some other kind of bandhas being used. It is noteworthy that Shreni Bandha pattern is the crumbs, the traversal, the sequence pattern is such that if you just start the first, if you take first as a 1, 2, 3 like that in sequence, the whole thing becomes a kind of a magic square. So magic square of 27 by 27, it becomes, which you add the rows and columns, each will result in 9, 8, 5, 5, even diagonals also. Or in 9 by 9 Navmank Bandha, this will result in adding up rows, numbers in rows and columns, 369. And that's a very simple way to understand it and to create it, bandhas of this magic squares. So this is what Kram Chakra, which is I'm saying, this is the key transposition. This is the key for transposition cipher. In the transposition cipher, if you just, I'm talking in terminology of cryptography, you have got a number sequence. You have decoded, encoded Mool Varnas into numbers. But now they are not put into, they're in the matrix, they are put into different places. The first comes at one place, second comes at another place, third comes at another place. And this is defined by the key for this transposition cipher, because they are put into different places. So this is Kram Chakra. So one has to know which is the way. So this Kram Chakra has to be created by ourselves to decode. So Yalapa Shastri has given some hints, and we have been able to systematically analyze and put all kind of Kram Chakras for all different adhyayas. So we can decode any adhyaya, any chakra available. And there is a code table. Code table is the key for substitution cipher. Means if you got a number, what is that varna for? Or if you got a word, how to find a number for it. So this is a Komidendu code table. So this contains 64 numbers and 64 Mool Varnas for individual script. For each script, you need 164, 1 to 64 numbers and corresponding Mool Varnas. So this is one Kram Chakra, I can say. You just look at this. The first one number is written at the first row of 14th column. Are you able to look at? So first, so in a chakra, which you have to decode with this chakra bandh, you have to first pick up the first number from the first row, 14th column. It may be any number, one of the 64. Then the second number you have to pick up from the bottom row, 27th row, and 15th column. Then third, 3 is written there. 3, this is the sequence number. 1 is the first. First you have to put a correct. First is the location. That means first row, 14th column. You pick up the first location, first character. Then the last row, 27th row, 15th column, you pick up second. Then 26th row, 16th column next. Then 25th, 17th, then 24, 18th. Likewise, you keep on picking up and put them in a series. And then substitute with them varnas, and then you get that you are able to decipher the content. The same thing happens similar way. This is for 27 by 27. Suppose we have the Kumadendu Acharya has given a hint that it is not by 27 by 27, but in terms of 9 by 9. So then we'll have to use this thing. The same kram is starting from the Arambha, means first you have to pick up the character, which is in the first row of 5th column, then the 9th row, 6th column, second character, third character from the 8th row, 7th column, likewise. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they are organized. And if you just look at this, these are organized as a magic square. If you just take a sum of all the rows or sum of all the columns, they all result into the same value, even in diagonals, numbers in diagonals. Now I show you one small example how this whole thing works. This is a simple example. This is a very scaled down version of what. So here is the Anka Chakra in the left side. Anka Chakra contains 5 by 5 matrix. The first character is 4, 53, 28, 45, 4. Is it correct? It is clear to everybody? And now here is the Kram Chakra. Kram Chakra will tell you where to pick up the first character. First character is to be picked up from first row, third column. First row, third column is 28. So you write down here as a 28. Okay? Now second character has to come up from the 5th row and 4th column. So 5th row and 4th column here is 7. So write down here 7. Now 3. Third, the sequence number 3 is from 4th row, 5th column. So 4th row, 5th column is 52. So you write down 52 here. And now 4, the sequence number 4, the Kram Sankhya 4 is in 3rd row, 1st column. 3rd row, 1st column is 7. So 7 comes here. Likewise, if you keep on applying this Kram Chakra, the sequence numbers, and then you result in this. So this is being now transposed as this, using this. This is the key on the right-hand side, and this is the encoded version. And this, if you just apply this key, you get a sequence of numbers, which is now a series. And if you just apply substitution, means if you substitute these numbers with the corresponding Mool Varnas, now you will get a result. That is the result after applying substitution cipher that results from deep transposition from the previous slide. So that 27, 28 is for Ka, 7 for U, 52 for Ma, U. So like if you just substitute all the characters, you will get this string of Mool Varnas. And on adjoining them, you will get this. This is the text which will result in Kumudendu Kritu Siribhūvalaya. Is it unclear? I'll give some more example of how this thing has worked. Just here, actually, this is the first adhyay, which I gave you some example of. This is first adhyay. This, if you can decode it, it will result in this thing. Now, if we just pick up the first characters, Atta Vihakam Viala, how this first characters you pick up, it gives you a Prakrit Gatha. And if we just pick up the characters which are marked with a star here, Om Karam Bindu Sayuktam. Likewise, you get the character. If you add those characters, you get a Sanskrit version, Sanskrit shlok. And now at the end of Adhyaya, this is another very remarkable thing. At the end, the last verse or the last statement which comes at the end is that how many characters, how many Mool Varna this chakra contains. So this is given at the end. And how many Mool Sahitya and how many Antar Sahitya characters are in this chakra. So this is a kind of checksum. Acharya Kumdendu has added at the end of each Adhyaya all the number of Mool Varnas, how many will be there, and how many characters will be there of the Antar Sahitya, the derived text. So this gives a very, very important characteristic. Actually, if this is being used now in modern day for integrity check, whether some information is correct or it is modified, you can check it by using a feature which is called integrity checking. So this thing has been done by Acharya Kumdendu 1200 years ago. This is a very important thing to note. So at the end of each Adhyaya, he mentions how many Mool Varnas are there, how many Antar Sahitya Varnas are there. So if happens so that some chakra is missing, so you will not come to the same figure. If somebody has added few chakras, it will again result into some different figure. Likewise, it is a kind of a checksum to make this integrity, to make the credibility of the substance. Now I'll just give you just another example of how different languages are the whole. This is the main. What you see on the screen is from the second khanda, first Adhyaya. If you just look at the thing, if you just pick up the first character as star, that results in Prakrit. The second star gives you another language. And at the end, actually the last characters, if you just put the last character, they will result in another language. So you get, and the characters which have been underlined and with the star, they will, if you just pick up them and put together, that will be another language, literature in another language. So you can get multiple languages in the same Kannada Kavita, Kannada poetry. And one more important thing, which we just look at this, in this Pad Padya, that Padya Visraj containing only single, these are Purna Pada, which has got four pieces actually. And here, if you just look at add up these characters, you get another Gatha from Samayasar. Vandittu Savvasiddhe. If you just can add the Vandittu Savvasiddhe, that becomes a Gatha. And if you just keep on adding, you will get number of Gathas coming in from Samayasar in sequence. So this is a very important, very a wonderful feature, you can say, that this Mool Sahitya and Antar Sahitya. Antar Sahitya contains number of things, number of ways to decode, find out in number of ways. So the available ways are Ashwagati, Nagabandh. So you can find out our old scriptures, the Tatwar Sutra, Mangalashtak, and many of the mantras. So this is the example. If you just look the first characters, then you get this Prakrit, this thing. Suddha Nanas Avaraniyam, Suddha Nana Avaraniyam, Tatta Suddha Nana Nam, Indiyehi Gai Tado Tado. If you just use the second character with a star, you get something which is a old version of old version of Sanskrit. Divya gihi divya, amanushi girvanasya. Likewise, Telugu, Tamil. The last characters, if you add, you get Tamil verse. So likewise, actually, people are able to decode number of things. One scholar has come up who could decode, who could search and find out using some characters a poetry in Persian. That's a very wonderful thing to note that even Persian poetry can be also found out in some verses. Now, I would like to summarize the whole thing and pay tribute to Acharya Komnendu, why he is inimitable. Because there is no other example which comes close to it, actually. So I just read out a master mathematician who shone with brilliance in creating not only intricate framework of chakras and bandhas, but also expressed mathematical interpretations on variety of topics. He was an eminent scholar of religious foundations, scriptures, practices, and ancient sciences of diverse domains. Highly competent linguist with proficiency into multiple languages prevalent in India at his time. Extremely genius poet who chose two-dimensional array of numerals for his creative expressions. Great composer who intertwined verses in multiple languages into a solitary piece of magnificent work. Exceedingly talented graphics artist who could implant poetry into multitude of shapes and figures. This is about Chitra Kavya, Chitra Bandha, which I have not shown any example yet, but this is one thing which is also part of Siribhūvalaya. And he was a very strong proponent of Pushpa Ayurveda. And these are some of the publication which we have been doing at Siribhūvalaya Shodhan Prashikshan Kendra at Kund Gyanpit, Indore. So these things are part of our research work, or we would like to compile and publish and to make these things available to interested persons. So that's all.